Natural Samoa water, the taste of nature.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good man.
Yeah.
He'll come in.
But he
Or
might
should we
want
wait
to
for
film.
him?
He might want to mic it.
Oh yeah, sorry. If you bear with us, we just want to wait for our Nakoa rep because he's got a microphone. Did he give you the microphone?
No, I gave it back to him.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, just bear with us 2 seconds.
Do you feel free to come to the front?
Don't be
What?
shy.
We're not going to ask any questions back.
I've got one at the hotel. I do. Very nice, mate.
Josh, if it's needed, there's a running shirt over your left shoulder on the chair.
You got it, brother.
That's anything else's cousin. So you can leave it on the hotel for. Yeah, that's what we do. Yeah, that's what I said.
You explain the Americans better than me, mate, so I might just do it in the code piece, and then you can explain what we're actually doing, yeah? And then Josh and Scott obviously come in with whatever.
Handsome, youthful
I'll get
looks.
a wee shout out for the people that helped us.
Yeah, good. Yeah, you speak on the people that we're visiting, yeah, and the supporting the kids and all that.
Yeah.
Josh, anything specific you want to cover? Happy to just ship in whenever, yeah.
Whatever you need, mate. Yeah.
Cool. I want to start right foot back because Pierce is that's the whole person we need, isn't it, to get.
Shall we go make sure he's alright?
Do you want me to go check?
Yeah.
I'll grab him.
We've still got to go run.
Only, yes, 2 miles.
Nah.
Baby one. Just get some sweat on.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's not going to...
I think it looks good. This one, flag
We
waving
love that.
behind Callum.
Right, okay, yeah.
I'll take it, brother.
Callum's, the breeze is
Yeah.
Making me
floating
feel
right
all
up
sorts
behind
of.
your head, mate.
Sorry, I knew they're ready.
Yeah, we're just waiting for a mic from the...
Cherry.
From the lead rep.
Piers is living on Samoan time. He's gotten real comfortable.
No hurry, no worry.
Yeah, that's it.
No hurry, no worry.
I like it. Our hotel's good with that. All good with you, brother? Would you like me to hold a mic? Do you have a mic?
No.
You sure?
No, I've had problems with the...
Okay, cool. Sorry. Thank you for your patience.
Perfect, let us know when you are ready. Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the British High Commission. It's absolutely brilliant to... I can start again. How's the volume?
Yeah.
I'll move it.
Yeah, we'll just move it. Shall we, these glasses, we're not going to do anything, are we? Shall we just,
Yeah, there's a table here. Look, go on, brother. Go on. Get a nice idea.
we're just
I'll
gonna,
just drop them on the floor and that'll...
Do voice note, just record it on your iPhone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ready, guys? Well, good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining today. Welcome to the British High Commission residence. It's an absolute pleasure to be joined by these guys today. In the next couple of days, we've got Callum Best, Josh Connolly, Ian Stringer, and Scott Murdoch with us, who are setting out on the, frankly, remarkable Chasing Yesterday Marathons challenge. They've been briefing me on it just now. They'll fill you in on the details. It sounds absolutely terrifying, but no doubt you're going to smash it and set a new
We hope so.
Guinness World Record.
Good man.
So incredibly exciting to have these people with us in Samoa. And while they're here, they are not only going to be supporting the incredibly important National Association for the of Children of Alcoholics, they're also going to be meeting with local NGOs and learning from them. We're going to be talking about some really outstanding organisations supporting some of the most vulnerable people in Samoa. including the Salvation Army and the Samoa Victim Support Group. We'll be heading there just after this. What a powerful message. I think no one is able to change the past, but as these guys are demonstrating, you can change the future. I'll hand over for you guys to talk to us a bit more detail about this, kind of incredible challenge that you're planning to undertake, and about the amazing cause that you're supporting.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much for having us. So just first of all, from us at NACOA, we're very grateful for the welcome here. The High Commission residents, I mean, when you look at that backdrop, it's a pretty special place. And also from us so far, we've been here for a day now, but the welcome has been incredible. Before we got here, we saw that the local paper had done a nice write-up about it. And for us, that's an absolute privilege, because our goal as COAs, which stands for Children of Alcoholics, and as patrons for NACOA, our goal is to kind of spread the good word we can about the struggles of children who have alcohol problems at home with their parents. And we've all been patrons. We've all dealt with it firsthand ourselves. We're all COAs ourselves. Personally, I've been a patron to NACOA for the past 16 years. And as typical COAs, we find different crazy ways to share the word about what we're doing, from climbing mountains to football games to taking on something like this of an ultra marathon. And my friend and one of the patrons here, Ian, came up with this incredible challenge of chasing yesterday, of going back in time. And it kind of makes you think about what you do as an adult, as a COA, of going back to talking to the child that was struggling with the parental drinking at home. That's our whole message. So for us, what I like the most about this trip is that, we are in the UK. We've been very privileged to grow this charity, NACOA, from when I found them, a helpline in a basement in Bristol, to now one of the leading charities on this topic, specifically for children of alcoholics. We speak at Parliament. All of us here have had an opportunity to speak at Parliament. We've been doing that for the past few years. So the growth has been incredible, and then to be able to come here and share with the community and the people about, what usually has a huge stigma behind it, isn't spoke about very often. Not many people, and from what I'm hearing even more so here, it's not something that's brought up very commonly. So if we can just kind of be youngish guys talking about this a bit more openly, a bit more comfortably, with a bit more intent to help the children, and even help the adults then help the children, then that's our goal with NACOA and what we do. So we're here to represent NACOA, what they stand for. It's a miscellaneous helpline, but it's grown to so much more than that. It's now become an opportunity for us to raise funds to help kids and counselors and teachers in school pass on their knowledge of how to support children as well. The main goal, more than anything, is supporting the children of alcoholics for us as well. So as a rep, I just want to explain what NACOA stands for, and then I wanted to hand over to Ian to explain a bit more about what our challenge is while we're here.
Hi everybody. So we are trying something as a group that apparently hasn't been done before, and we're really excited. So we're running a marathon on Samoa on Saturday, but it's midnight, so it's a minute past midnight. And the idea is we run a marathon, 42 kilometers, 26.2 miles, on the seawall in Apia. And then when we're finished, we get a plane straight away in our running kit. Instantly, we fly to American Samoa and we run another marathon. But because of the time difference between your islands, we know that the second one will be Friday and the first one will be Saturday. We contacted Guinness World Records, and nobody has registered that they've ever finished a second marathon the day before they started the first. So I came up with the idea 4 years ago when I did a different challenge, and I flew from Bangkok to Hawaii, and I realised, can you play with the dateline? It took 10 minutes to fly from Bangkok to Hawaii. It didn't. It took 12 hours, but because you chased the line, I wondered, can we find two places either side and then go back? And we have. And so all we've got to do now
Let's get it done.
is run. That's all we're going to do. So
The easy part.
yeah, that's what we're doing. And there's been a year in the making, right? A year's training, boys.
And we're very happy to be doing it here. What a beautiful backdrop we're doing it. And then also, next I wanted to hand over to Scott Murdoch as well. Scott has done an incredible job with some of the partnerships and local the local works of what they do, from children to the Red Cross and all these different opportunities. So hand it over to Scott to explain a bit more.
Thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to say quickly, Samoa is one of the furthest away parts on the earth to where I'm from in Scotland and where these boys are from in England. And after a 36-hour flight, I would just like to thank the Annandale family for supporting us with accommodation in the Sinalea Resort. It's a lovely resort, and waking up with a coffee and going into that water is, as Callum says, cleanses the soul. So I'd like to say a thank you to the Annandale family, but we've had lots of other support, and I'd like to say thanks as well to the British High Commission, because what we don't want to lose focus on is this is all about supporting children. And when we found out that there's children at SVSG that need support here as well, we'd like to thank the British High Commission for introducing us to them. And as 4 boys here that have had our own difficulties in life, sport is something that has been a positive outlet for us, so we would like to bring them some sport equipment and hopefully influence some positive behaviour for those kids. But I'd like to also say thank you to our other sponsors like Scotwork. It was a difficult flight, but it's better than no flight. So thank you for paying for our flights across. Josh, perhaps you'd like to speak about the charity?
Yeah, you know, I think it's a really good thing, Josh, as well, what we plan to do with the money raised.
Yeah. Just a quick thing that I'd like to add. Why we are passionate about the relationship that we've been able to build in this is hearing some of the stories from local people as well, and just understanding that addiction can impact everybody. I think it's important to understand that when we're talking about children of alcoholics, we're not here to stigmatize or be against anybody that uses alcohol in any way. I'm somebody who found sobriety myself. I quit alcohol around 14 years ago. But we understand that it's not just like really like extortionate drinking that can take place. I think within any community-based place, that it can sometimes bring about some secrecy when it comes to things like alcohol use. And so just understanding that even where there's strong community, there can sometimes be a misuse of alcohol, and it can sometimes find its way into secrecy. And so just talking about it in this way around something positive, we think can be really important for everybody back home, but hopefully here too. And it's all about kind of reducing that stigma, rather than being against anybody using alcohol or doing anything that they want to do with their life. It's more about understanding the impact that it can have on children. And that is why all of the money, because of the sponsorship that you've heard of, all of the money that we raise, every penny from here on in, will be going towards our schools campaign. And that is about going into schools around the UK to not just help the children understand that they're not alone in this, but also to help professionals understand what a child that goes through this might present like. Because I think there's often a misconception that if somebody is growing up with alcohol misuse within the home, then they're going to look a certain way, they're going to present a certain way, and that's not always the case. Actually, you can have what seems like a very healthy family from the outside looking in, and then there can be alcohol misuse going on in secrecy at home, and that can cause huge struggles for the children, and it can be very confusing. And I lost my dad when I was 9 as a young boy. My dad was quite a sort of chaotic drinker in the way that he used alcohol, but the impacts of that still impact me today. Yeah, so they go into my adulthood today, and the key thing is, and that's why I think this is so important, it's not necessarily the things that I experienced at the hands of my dad's drinking that caused me the most problems. It's the fact that it was so shrouded in secrecy. I never saw another human being talk about a parent that maybe drinks in the way that my dad did. And it took me to walking into NACOA as an adult to realize that some of the struggles that I had were not a problem within me, but actually a reaction to my experiences. And so we're really passionate about getting this out in the open, creating a conversation to destigmatize and help people understand that people that get caught up in addiction, which is a family illness, are not necessarily bad people, but are people that need support, and that the shame that we all experience can't survive when we talk about what happens. And so to do this in this way, in such a positive way, I think is really, really important for anybody, anywhere in the world that's affected by this. Yeah.
Nice one, Josh. Yeah, just on a final note, you know, the topic sometimes can be quite doom and gloom, you know, addiction, kids that are struggling, it's all quite heavy stuff, you know, but if we can try to lift the stigma around it by bringing some light to it in sport, in fitness, we know firsthand, all of us, the gym, training, football, we see loads of volleyball here as well, all the sport that you can do that can help keep you sane and help kind of, you know, lead the youth into a bit more of a positive direction. If they're struggling, we're going to do everything we can to do that. So we're here for one goal for ourselves, but the bigger goal before we came here was to what can we do with the local community and the local people to try to add some value in any way, shape, or form. And even if we just leave a small little imprint of explaining what NACOA is and what it stands for, we're happy and hope we played a good part. Cool.
Any questions?
Questions? From
I know we went on a lot there. We covered all the bases, you know. You guys happy with that? Everything kind of covered all the bases?
Well, Salafalawa, my name is Dietrich. I'm from TV1 Samoa. First question is, so have you guys decided on organizations that you will be helping?
Visit to the SVSG this afternoon. It was great to see the recent run that the A1 runners did around the island. That was incredible, supporting SVSG and their attempt. Ours is different, but massive respect for them and how they heightened the awareness of the SVSG. And we've got the Salvation Army coming to the High Commissioner's residence this afternoon for us to have a chat. And as Josh mentioned earlier on, those shared chats and experiences, especially with groups like that, are really important and significant.
Yeah, thanks for the question. As you know, the UK has a long-term relationship with SVSG. We are frankly amazed by their work, and we were so pleased when during Choggum, Queen Camilla was announced as patron for the SVSG School of Hope, and we're going to continue with that relationship. The relationships I think that really matter going forward also is between these guys and what we can do in future, and we hope we can sustain some of those relationships. But yeah, as the High Commission, we're delighted to host these guys and also the Salvation Army and SVSG later this afternoon, and we're going to be looking at some of their amazing work.
Also, just to add to that, this is our first time here, with NACOA. This is my first time here ever in 45 years, and so we're so grateful to be here. And the ultimate goal would be to try to build relations even more so. We've been really grateful to have people be interested. We didn't know if anybody would be interested at all. So the fact that there's questions asked, curiosity there, what is NACOA, what are you guys up to, and more importantly, what can we do with the local community to provide a value, right? Because that's what it is. We want to be able to come here and not just kind of do our thing, but also leave in any way, shape, or form a positive imprint that could continue going forward. So off the back of this, maybe somebody reaches out, maybe somebody that we don't know of yet, and it builds more relationships. And all of a sudden, who knows, we could be 6 years down the line, it could be a regular thing. That's what the goal would be for us, because that's how we did it. We all started with once, and now we're 6 to 10 years, 16 years, 14 years deep into this, the passion of providing support for the children that are struggling at home.
Thank you.
Yeah, pleasure.
So whereabouts are you starting your marathon? Or
Hopefully we're not.
We start at the Sheraton. I'd like to offer a massive thanks to the Seawall Run Club. So there's a run club in Apia called the Seawall Run Club, and every Saturday morning at 6 a.m. they leave the Paddles restaurant and they run the Seawall, and they've grown and grown and grown. And as runners, some of us are new runners. Josh is a new runner, but we've all recreationally run. It's great to have a local running club support us. So they've set us up. We start at Paddles at the Sheraton, and then we run 3.5k to the Peninsula, where there's an aid station, and then back 6 times.
And can I just add, I know it's going to be late. We're starting at 1 minute past midnight on Saturday, so we're going to head up on Friday night. If anybody wants to come run, if you want to run 1 kilometre, 100 metres, or you just want to cheer us on from the start, everybody's welcome.
Love that.
Okay. My question is, what is the significance of being in Samoa? Especially, it's just a small island nation compared to the big countries. So why have you chosen Samoa to run this map?
Honestly, we were really, really lucky in that you straddle the international date line, and geographically it works. We could have maybe chosen Fiji, but it made sense when we thought about Samoa, and we reached out to Samoa, and people have helped us so much, and the local community have helped us, and the High Commission has helped us, and we just thought, we've got to go there. And because it geographically makes so much sense, there's 4 flights a day, right? So we can fly, we get the first flight Saturday morning, hopefully we get home from American Samoa in the afternoon. It kind of made sense geographically, and then we realised we hit the jackpot because look at this place. Look how helpful everybody is. We've got really, really lucky.
Yeah, as Ian said there, originally it aligns with the Guinness World Record. But the reality is that it's got to be more than that. You know, we can't just come here and do our thing. As a charity, the goal is spreading the word. And some people might not want to hear it, but some people might be open to it. What we find is that a lot of the times there will be people out there that want to know and sometimes need to know, you know. In the UK, for example, there's 2.6 children of alcoholics, 2.6 million. And I think that's a low number. I think it's higher than that, you know. NACOA gets 33,000 calls a year to their helpline. And I think if you had those services here, you'd probably know those figures as well. And if people were open to understanding, they'd probably have some high numbers as well. But again, you know, sometimes when you go to places that, from what I've learned, and it's only been here for 2 days now, it's not a conversation that happens very often, you know, addiction or parents that are addicted. And especially in the UK, it's a stigma. It's a real gray area. So the goal is to try to lead from the front and just share what we've been through to hopefully inspire children. But what NACOA has turned into, although it's a place to support children, it's adults doing the work to support the children, and we hope we can do the same thing here.
Sorry. With Samoa, my question will come around in terms of culture. In our culture, it's hardly and it's rare for us to share when it comes to deep challenges faced by children, especially with children, between children and parents. So my question is, how will you be able to help our children who are facing similar problems as you were growing up? How will you get them to open up when there is the culture that is in between of children sharing about what they're going through at home behind closed doors, and the culture that is sitting here of respect for parents and everything that comes around it? So how will we be able to help our children open up, have an open mind when it comes to problems such as the ones that you were also going through?
Yeah. Yeah. No. Listen, I love the question, and I think that one of the most important things that we can do, particularly as a group of 4 men, and showing up in the way that we are, is by being a little bit more open about our own experiences and the emotional struggles that came with that. We would hope that that would gently encourage and give some permission to other adults to start to reflect in on their own experiences, because I think that it's not about coming in and necessarily getting all of the children to be fully open about their experiences, because they need to feel that kind of like emotional safety to be able to do that. And I think that comes from the adults around them. And I think that, look, I understand strong family values and how important they are. I also recognize that with strong family values and that desire to protect those family values, that desire to protect your parents, to protect your wider family and your wider community, is an incredible, it's like an incredible thing to have within any community. And it can sometimes come with its problems, because it can mean that sometimes children are forced to stay silent about things that they really need a space to be able to talk about. And I think that one of our key messages at NACOA, and this, you know, back in the UK still remains the same, which is that to talk about struggles that you had as a child as the result of the way that your parents drank is not betrayal of your parents, right? And I think, like, to really bring it back to your question, one of the most important parts of that is giving permission to adults to be more open about their own experiences, to know that it's not betrayal necessarily to talk about where somebody that you might love deeply let you down by some of the things that they did that may not have even been their fault if we look at addiction as an illness, yeah? So we really hope that looking the way that we do, doing the things that we are, will give people that encouragement and that permission, but also recognizing that it's gentle steps, right? We're not suggesting for a second about coming in here and saying, you should let your children speak, right? It's more about, paving the way for particularly men to start to open up and talk about their emotions. And just lastly, that was my experience, I was taught as a child, it was, even where I grew up, men don't talk about emotions, men don't talk about struggles. You grit your teeth, you clench your fists, and you show how manly you are and you get on with it. That ultimately led me down the path of addiction. It's been being able to open up about my struggles, the emotional turmoil that I would go through as a result of reflecting back on what I experienced with my dad, and that's where I found true courage. And so I think that the way that we speak, or hopefully, will gently start to, break down some of those barriers, yeah.
I just want to add one more thing to that as well. Well said, Josh, there. We are never coming here to try to change any belief system or what a community is or values that they stand by. It's just our experiences, and if we have an opportunity to share them, if anybody are interested to listen, then we're open to talk about it, you know what I mean? And I think we come from the generation we grew up in, although it might not be the same kind of beliefs here, it's still a place of, it's not easy to talk about these things, and a lot of the times you're questioned or looked down on, and you question if it's the right thing to do. But I think from all of us doing it, nothing but positives have come. But we also understand we got to get things done ourselves. We got to handle our business. We got to provide for our family and our friends and show up ourselves. So it's not that. It's more about the experiences we went through of having parents that drank, that were traumatic. We had to channel them somewhere. Now we've channeled them into good by bettering ourselves and hopefully bettering the next generation in any way that we can.
Are you guys only focusing on alcohol, or is it an open?
It's open, yeah.
Yeah.
We were sort of born out of children of alcoholics, so it was like, it felt, when the COA was established over 30 years ago, it was for a group of people that had shared experience around alcoholic parents, but we know that in the UK, in England, it's more children of addicted parents now, so we have lots of people that call the helpline that struggle with addictions to anything else. And it's about that understanding that, addiction, any addiction is a family illness, yeah? So anybody that loves somebody that struggles with addiction, we would say has, a struggle with the illness of addiction themselves, So yeah, I mean, it's certainly in more recent years and over the last sort of decade opened up much wider to understand addiction, because the children's experiences, there will be different variables, but the core wounding, internal wounding that they will experience is often the same, yeah.
Do you think in the future, if this event is successful, do you think you will be able to give the chance, focus more on men, as you alluded to before, that it's very hard, because it's also the same in Samoa. Samoan men are very protective of their emotion, and it's very hard for them to talk about their emotion and how they feel, the struggles they feel, financially, emotionally, spiritually, whatever struggle they're going through. So do you think in the future, if this event is successful, you will be able to have a program specifically for men to allow themselves to open up, in order for the children who are going through the same thing to be able to open up?